Caring for caregivers, who cares? My life as an outdoor educator was full of risk, challenge and adventure. I lived a relatively carefree life. Whether it be kayaking down waterfalls or climbing to new heights, I was seeking the ultimate adrenaline buzz. One minute my life was carefree, the next I was in need of care. I woke in a hospital bed, not knowing who my neighbour was, let alone how I'd got there. What was to follow was intense rehabilitation. Yet through it all, it was my caregiver who ensured that I ate, rested and looked after my personal needs to enable my health to improve. Thanks to caregiving, I am standing here today. Having also worked as a caregiver, I know it's not a glamorous job. Feeding, bathing, toileting, this does not require sophistication, rather dedication, empathy and genuine care. Given my background, I care for caregivers. The question is, do you? I would like to take this opportunity to introduce my study, Caring for Informal Caregivers. I'd like to explain the methods and the preliminary results. So what's the issue? In New Zealand, the value of informal caregiving is $7 billion per year. This is a reflection of an international trend whereby informal caregivers provide the backbone of healthcare due to deinstitutionalisation, ageing in place, and medical advances. So why support caregivers? New Zealand research shows that fewer than 10 out of 300 informal caregivers were able to remain in paid employment. This means they suffer financially. They also suffer from health needs, especially mental health, anxiety, stress, depression. 2/3 of informal caregivers suffer from depression. 45% suffer from their own disability or health need. 40% suffer an injury while providing care. Caregivers are often locked into the role forced on them by circumstances. They're surrounded by uncertainty for the future. It carries with it a huge responsibility, especially when administering serious medication. It can be time-consuming, up to 24/7, with no exit strategy. So how to address the issue? This study provides the opportunity for change by developing critical success factors associated with positive outcomes for caregivers of people with disabilities or chronic illnesses. Essentially, how best to support informal caregivers. So best practice being practices generally leading to valued outcomes, informal caregivers being unpaid family and friends who provide care, and support being both emotional and physical. The methods I have used are mixed methods. So I have taken exploratory qualitative caregiver interviews, and I have used these to develop the quantitative online survey. These two combined will create a working model. The robust quantitative survey currently online was created from a culmination of factors. My personal experience as a care recipient and a caregiver, combined with best practice themes from the literary reviews and the qualitative interviews from caregivers, hence creating a robust survey. This survey is currently available through SurveyMonkey and available through Carers New Zealand. It provides the opportunity for caregivers, both past and present, to have their say. The preliminary results. Currently, there is 551 responses from the online survey, achieved through promotion via newspaper, websites, non-profit organisations, etc. In terms of the qualitative phase, 5 caregivers were purposefully chosen in order to provide a cross-section of information. From this these intensive, semi-structured interviews, 4 major themes emerged. Each of these qualitative themes I will talk about in turn now. The first of these themes is that of the social welfare system. Looking only at health and education, we can see that the negative nature outweighed the positive 2 to 1. In each of the themes, there were 3 dominant categories. Dominant categories were determined by 10% or more of the quotes being focused on that topic. I will leave you to read those categories, but I feel the quotes speak for themselves. It was a constant struggle trying to make people realise that we don't fit into little boxes. It was emotionally and mentally and physically exhausting trying to battle the system because they don't listen to you. When it comes to caregivers' tasks and time, you can see it was overwhelmingly negative, 79%. Here it was about the all-consuming nature of caregiving. You have to give it all no matter what you feel in yourself, and the interruption to paid work, and a lot of interruption. Theme 3, effects of caregiving. Here you can see that the negative impact of quality of life overshadowed the rewarding nature of caregiving. Having said that, each of the 5 participants acknowledged the rewarding nature of caregiving. It's quite rewarding, actually, because I was helping someone to get along with the rest of their life. However, it must be said that 48% of the comments focused on the negative aspects on the mental and physical health of the caregivers. I think this quote sums it up very aptly. It's all-consuming. You almost wish that your loved one would pass away. You're just at the end of yourself. Theme 4, caregiver experiences. Here you can see that information is rather lacking, but support and strategies are a more balanced view. In terms of support, there's recognition that there is support and it is meeting some needs, but there is a need for more support to give the caregivers the strength to cope. Whereas in terms of information, caregivers succeeded by being stroppy advocates. They had to use their own initiative and they had to ask quite a lot of questions. I have taken those 4 qualitative themes, I have combined them with the best practice themes in order to create quantitative sections within the survey. The aim of the quantitative survey is to determine the best practice for caregivers by investigating training and information and assistance needs, the inclusiveness of caregivers by health professionals, and the support and the flexibility thereof it. In conclusion, I would like to say that from the qualitative interviews, it was obvious that there is some success factors in our current system, indicated by some satisfaction with the system. However, there is great room for improvement. It is ironic that caregivers are invaluable in terms of financial and social worth, yet they are undervalued in our current system. The time to care is now. I urge you to do so. Thank you.